So case number 3, increased left thumb extension and left hip internal rotation. Patient complains of pain. What PJM will you give if this is the patient's first session? So before we start, we'll ask consent from the patient first. So good evening sir, my name is Jacob. I'll be your physical therapist for this session, and I would like to ask for your consent because I may be placing my hands on your sensitive areas of the body in order to perform the techniques correctly. Will it be okay, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so before we move on to the exercises, we'll be using the warm water, the ice bag, to warm the muscles so that they don't magulpihan. And then I'd like to ask you sir to relax all throughout the session so that hindi mag mistakes. Then let's assume that the patient is able to do range of motion fully and then also to do arm fully. So our goal here sir is to decrease pain since this is the first session, so that will be our goal. Okay sir? Okay, so let's proceed to the plan of care. So this one, for the thumb extension, the trapezium is convex and the proximal metacarpal is the concave surface. So resting position is midway between flexion and extension, between adduction and abduction. So our plan of care, we'll be using Kaltenborn grade 1 distraction first for 3 cycles of 10 seconds, and then after that we'll move on to Maitland using grades 1 and 2 Saro and Laro. So cycle 1 will be 60 seconds of grade 1, then cycle 2 and 3 will be 60 seconds of grade 2, and then lastly for cycle 4 we'll go back to grade 1 for 60 seconds also. So for the hand placement for Kaltenborn, I will fixate the trapezium of the patient's hand. Then using my fingers, I will grasp the first metacarpal and apply a long axis traction. And then for the Kaltenborn oscillations, I will place again my hand same to stabilize the trapezium. And then place my tenor eminence against the base of the first metacarpal of the patient. And then apply radial glide for extension. Okay, so let's warm up the muscles. Let's assume that we did this for 1 minute. Okay, the muscles are now warm. Okay, first for the distraction, to alleviate the pain, okay, again stabilize the trapezium, and then grasp the first metacarpal and apply long axis traction for 10 seconds. So cycle 1, 10 seconds, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rest. Cycle 2, 10 seconds. Okay, and then last cycle 3, 10 seconds again. And very good. So how did that feel, sir? Is there pain?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to Maitland. Again, 4 cycles, alternating between grades 1 and 2 Saro and Laro. So cycle 1, 60 seconds of grade 1 Saro. Okay, again, stabilize the trapezium, and then using my tenor eminence, I will place it on the first metacarpal. Then this is where I apply my oscillations. Okay, so relax lang, sir. Cycle 1, Saro, 60 seconds, and 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, let's assume tapos 60 seconds. Okay, and then cycle 2, Laro, for 60 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, let's assume again, tapos 60 seconds. Cycle 3, Laro again, 60 seconds. Grade 2. Okay, let's assume, and then lastly, cycle 4, grade 1, Saro. Okay, let's assume that was 60 seconds. That was it for our upper extremity PJM. So, are you okay, sir? Do you feel pain or anything?
No.
Okay, so thank you. So, relax na again, sir. Stand up. Move on to the lower extremity. So, lie down with sir on your back. Here. Okay. So, again, we'll warm up the muscles in the left hip. Let's assume that we did this for 1 minute. Okay, very good. So before that, we'll stabilize the patient using a blanket. Relax. concave surface, and then the femoral head is the convex surface. So resting position for this is 30 degrees of hip flexion and abduction, and then slight ER. But for cut-and-born na part, destruction will just as is lang. And then for addressing the pain again, cut-and-born grade 1 destruction for 3 seconds to 10 seconds in the left hip. And then next we'll move on to Maitland again. 4 cycles. First cycle 60 seconds grade 1 Saro. Then cycle 2 and 3 60 seconds of grade 2 Laro. And then lastly for cycle 4 60 seconds of grade 2 Laro. Okay. So on placement for the cut-and-born, I'll place my belt around the trunk. Cross this to the ankle and foot of the patient, so that we can use our body to pull on the left. Okay, so again, I'll place my hand on the superior slightly to the malleoli, so that I can pull. Use the belt to also use my body weight to apply destruction. Okay, so cycle 1, cut-and-born grade 1 destruction, 10 seconds. 1, relax na sir. 1, 2, 3, and go. And relax. Cycle 2, relax na sir. And relax. Lastly, for cycle 3. And relax. Okay, so that was it for the cut-and-born part. Okay, we'll move on to Maitland. Relax lang, sir. Okay, now sit up, sir. Move to the edge of the table. Okay, so lay down. Okay, so for this one, our hand placement will be stand near the patient's medial thigh and ask the patient to relax. You do this and then move down this way. Okay. Alright, press the medial thigh, then place belt around my shoulder, then the distal thigh of the patient also, so that my support, and then I will not get tired easily. Okay, so we'll be applying here a posterior glide on the anterior thigh of the patient for with Maitland techniques. Okay, so support here, anterior thigh, and placement. Posterior glide again. So cycle 1, 60 seconds of grade 1 Saro oscillations. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay, let's susunod ako 60 seconds. Relax lang sir. In cycle 2, 60 seconds grade 2 Laro. Okay, let's susunod for 60 seconds. Cycle 3 and Laro again. And lastly, cycle 4, back to grade 1, 60 seconds. And relax. Okay, sit up, sir. So those were the treatments for the PJM, for the thigh and the thumb. Okay, so how do you feel about the session, sir? Is it okay?
Yes.
Do you feel pain?
No.
Okay, so we'll check the range of motion. So when your left thumb, then like this. Okay, very good. Then move respectively. And follow me, sir. Then move outward. Okay, very good. So when you get home, I want you to continue lang your daily activities and try not to be sedentary when it comes to your thumb and your thigh. And usually the thumb is used man often, so don't overexert lang. And then for your thigh, I want you to go prone, and then like when in your bed, you nga pakablaster, and then iimuon mo lang niyo, then move mo lang din. So like big example, gahita ka riya sa bed mo. Then left, move mo lang sir. Slight lang, kaya para magsige lang ang motion, kaya hindi magpalit ang pain. Okay sir? Okay, so thank you again.